friends, I have another craft for you today. Today we are going to do melted snowman. Isn't that cute? Wishful thinking that our snowy cold time's going away, but we are heading into spring, so that's what we're gonna do. It's so cute. So obviously the snowman melted and it says, "Oh snow, I'm having a meltdown." But you don't have to put anything on there if you don't want to. So let me show you how to do this. It's actually quite simple. You take a wood round. So I was blessed with having one of these, having a bunch of these donated. So yay. But you can buy them, or if you or somebody is crafty, not crafty, but has a saw, you can take care of it. If you've got trees, I don't know. I don't have trees, but I do have a wood round. So I am just putting some white paint in the middle, and I choose to not cover up the outside of my round where the bark is on the tree. That's just a choice that I'm making. This actually dries quite quick, but I do have like a heat gun here in case I need to speed things up a bit. But I just squirted, as you saw. This is just regular acrylic paint or any kind of paint you happen to have at home. You know me, I love chalk paint, but this was convenient. I could just squirt it right on my center. And it just takes one coat to make it all white, and then it'll dry fast. So it does seep into the wood grain a little bit. You know me, I like that. I enjoy the rustic look of things. But you can always put 2 coats on there if you want to. All right. Ta-da. So while we let that dry, our next step is we need a ping pong ball. Ding. So I got some without words on it, but I know you can't tell on the video. I spray painted it. You can also use acrylic paint or chalk paint to paint over it. The only problem with that is you can see the marks. So what you'd probably, like sponge mark or bristle marks, depending on what kind of paintbrush that you're using. So what you might want to do is put like a base coat on if you're not spray painting it, and either get a sponge or a scrap of a real sponge brush and dab, 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 dab. Then you're going to have cute little, it looks more realistic, like a snowball, and you won't see any of the markings from your brush or whatever you did to apply it on there. But if you want to do spray paint, which I did, I poked a little hole in the bottom, put my toothpick on it, and I stuck it in foam and spray painted it. So that's ready to go. And then we need a hat. So what I'm using for a hat is, this is a ring off of toilet paper roll or paper towel roll. That's a good size to go on here. It's actually a little big, and so I trimmed this to 1 centimeter. It's 9 centimeters around, and actually it's not 9 centimeters around. I can't remember what it is, but I measured it onto my hat, onto my head, so I knew what kind of height that I was looking for and how tight I wanted it to be. And then I just taped it. I snipped it, made it the size I wanted, put together, and taped it. So that's how we're gonna make the hat. And it turns out looking like this. Yeah. This is just yarn. So there's several ways that you can do this. Today I'll show you this way, and I'll tell you about another way. You take yarn, so I have this cool variegated purple, and I cut it into 9-inch strips, which is way too long, but serves my purpose. And I made the ring as big as I wanted, and then I'm just making my edges together at the same length. So I'm making a hoop. I'm sticking the hoop through my ring like this, and I just stick my edges through the hoop that we've created and pulled. That's it. That's it. You push them together and grab another one. So, grabbing another strand, putting my two ends together, making a hoop, putting my hoop through the ring, just like this, putting my two end pieces into my hoop of yarn and pulling. That's it, over and over and over to fill up your ring. Let's do one more. My string, 9 inches, meeting at the top to create a hoop, putting the hoop through my ring, putting the ends through my hoop, pulling tight, and then you scooch them together. So this is something you need to think about. This yarn is taking up space. So if you make this ring exactly the size that you want to cover on your snowman, it's going to be a little smaller once you put the yarn through. So you might want to make it a little bigger. It's all preference. It's whatever you want. So there's not an exact size. You're going to have to eyeball it. And then I just put tape around to make it a solid ring. And it's all going to have yarn around it, so it doesn't matter. So it's your preference. Here is the one style where we're just pulling it straight up and tying it on the end. I like the way that looks. It's got a very, very subtle brim to it. But here's another thing you can do with the exact same hat is if you push your ends through, it makes a more predominant brim of the hat. So this is one of the rings that I've already done. It's already full. See? It's full all the way, and I'm just going to tie a top and trim it off for my pom-pom. But if you want to make that more pronounced, you push it through. Push all these little strands through the hole. And you have a predominant brim to your hat. It's whichever way you want to do it. Now, if you do that, it's going to take up even more space. So just think about that. You might want to play with it a little bit, but you'll need to have your cardboard ring that you're working with a little bigger even to fit on your head. This is what mine's going to look like. So you can stuff it with some cotton if you want. I did not. I didn't stuff anything in here, and you can't see through it. It's completely solid, but that's up to you. I'm just going to take one of my strands and tie a knot where I want to have the top of my hat for this little person, snowman person. See? Just tied it into a knot. And now I'm going to trim the top off. See how you really don't need 9 inches? But what that does for you is it gives you plenty of wiggle room to move your fingers and to push it through and pull your strings through the loop and all that good stuff. So I love this. Now I'm just going to cut the edges off. So I got some scissors. I'm going to cut this off. You can fray it if you want. Make a fuzzy pom-pom on top. Whatever your preference. Once you get started cutting, you'll figure out what you want it to look like. So, trim this off. I'm gonna make it all different sizes. Isn't that cute? And then I'm gonna muff it up. Kind of frizz mine out a bit. So cute. I didn't frizz that one. I like this. It's cute. Alrighty. Now I need some hot glue. We're gonna glue it onto our head. So another way you can do this, in one of my other crafts I did, we used fabric. So if you make a tube out of the fabric, like if you take a little piece of fabric and make a tube out of it like this, and glue, then you would do this inside out. Like, where's my tag? You would do this inside out. Glue it, and then flip it back through itself. And then you'd gather up, and then you'd have to cut edges like this to make your sprig at the top of your hat. We've done that before. I know I'm not really showing that to you because this is the way we're doing it today. So I have hot glue ready to go. I'm gonna put it over where my hole is. So I'm covering that up from where I put the toothpick in and spray painted it. So just put a little bit of glue on there, find my top, and stick it on there. We're already looking like a snowman. Cute. Let me see if my base is drying or if I need to dry it. Dry, ready to go. So then we are going to make the face and then place it on there. You got choices. You can use a Sharpie, you can use a pen, like a paint and a brush. You can use a Sharpie, or I have little paint pens that I'm going to use. So I'm just putting 2 little dots where I want his face. Right here. I'll put 2 little dots. Cute. Then we're going to make a nose out of orange. And I'm putting a little frowny on it, but it doesn't have to be a frowny face. It can be a happy face. I'm just putting a frowny face because I'm writing on there that I'm melting. And I'm kind of making the nose tilt down because it's melting. So I'm going to put the nose on there. I'm going to outline it in black so we can see it a little better. Try to match up my eyes. Put a little frowny face on my snowman. Because maybe the coal is for the face is trying to melt too. I don't know. Then I'm going to outline my nose. And this is what I ended up with. Oh goodness. Now, I'm just going to glue it on here where I want it to go. And I have it tilted back just a little bit so I can see her little face. So let's see. We'll put it right here. I'm gonna put the glue on my wood and set it down and hold it there for just a second. Notice that I'm putting my words in last because I need to make sure this sits the way I want it to sit. See? Cute. Okay, I wanted her to have a scarf, so I used the same yarn and then just crocheted a little fat strip. But you can use any fabric, whatever you want to do. But I wanted to match, so I'm just looping it around her neck, or his neck. Either way. You can do this last or before we put the arms on. It's whatever whatever you want to do. Pull this a little tighter. She's got a little scarf. Now, snip this little end off my tail off. Now, I just went outside And on the little tree, I cut off little sprigs, branches. And then with scissors, I'm just gonna trim this down to the size I want for the arms. Oops. Okay, how big do I want that? So this was, I don't even know what kind of tree this was, but you can find sticks outside. And I got little sprigs on here. So let's see, this one's a little bigger, so I'm gonna cut this down a bit. Just place it on there to where you like it. And then that will help us know where to put the words. And that can be with a Sharpie or with one of these pens. And so I just have a scrap piece of paper that I'm gonna put some glue on. Just put a pile of glue and then dip my arm in. And then place it on her body. Same with this side. Put on a little scrap piece of paper, dip my arm in, place it where I want it to go. Just let it dry for a second. That's the beauty of a glue gun. How fast it dries. See? That's it. Uh-oh. I forgot my little buttons. All right, that's okay. I'll fix that. Now I'm just gonna write on here. I'm just gonna write, oh, Snow, I'm having a meltdown. Okay, if you have a Cricut or whatever, you could do this with, oh, Snow, I'm having a meltdown. You could do that with vinyl. If you don't like handwriting or you don't have a steady hand, I don't have a Cricut. So this is how we're ending up. And time out, I need to go get my buttons. Zippy quick. I put them in this Ziploc so I wouldn't lose them. So I needed teeny tiny buttons to fit on this round. So, and just to let you know, so I have teeny tiny buttons. But just to let you know, this is a 5-inch round. But so that's what it looks like if you have a 5-inch round. Sorry, missed that part. So anyway, I needed teeny tiny buttons, which I had in my little button stash, but I did not have the right color because I wanted to match this purple pink theme. Ouch. Hot. Okay, so I painted them. And I happen to have some spray paint from another craft we were doing. And it was purple. So I spray painted it purple. So cute. All right. So I'm going to do this opposite because I'm not having a steady hand today. I'm going to put a dab of glue on my actual round. That's probably a better idea anyway, because you saw me burn my fingers. All right, so just put a dab of glue where you want your button. Yeah, there's one. And I'm making the buttons kind of offset because what? We've melted. So I looked on how big my snowman was and all, and I decided to put 2 buttons. But generally, if I'm doing a snowman, I like 3. But I didn't think that fit with the sizing of my round. So it's all what you think. That's it. Was that pretty simple? Also, in the past, I would spray this with, if I'm trying to protect it, I would spray it with like a clear coat. So that's cool. You can do that if you want or not. But here they are. They didn't take too long. Super fun. Very cute. And that's it. Thanks for joining me. I had a good time. I hope you did too. I hope you try it yourself. And we'll see you next time.